Welcome everyone. I am Dr. Michael DePalma. I'm the program director for the Master of Science in Biomedical Science program. Also with us is Dr. Michelle DeBase. She is the chair of our program and also the program director for the ASHS PA program, the one in Arizona. We have Sarah Amini-Rod, who's our program manager for the biomedical science program, and Olivia Rosen, who is the admissions advisor, and she'll also be the moderator for this session. So if you have any questions as we progress through the day here, feel free to raise your hand, put them in the chat box, and Olivia will be able to answer those. So I'm going to turn it over to Olivia here for a few comments, and then we'll proceed with introducing the program.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Again, I'm Olivia, admissions counselor at the Arizona campus for the residential programs here. So I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of our university, what we're all about. So we are the founding school of osteopathic medicine. We started in Kirksville, Missouri. We do still have a campus out there. We do have a dental program and a DO program, osteopathic medicine doctor out there program. That is KCOM. SOMA, School of Osteopathic Medicine in Arizona, is our DO program in Arizona. At Arizona, we also have a dental school. So that's what we call Arizona School of Dentistry and Oral Health. We call that ASDO. MSBS is the dental school in Kirksville, Missouri. And then we have Arizona School of Health Sciences, which is the college that this master's program is also under. Arizona School of Health Sciences encompasses many programs. The residential programs that we have are PA, PT, OT, SLP, and audiology. Then we have the College of Graduate Health Studies. That is going to be more online programs. And then College for Healthy Communities is our newest college. That is our PA program out in Santa Maria, California. And a little bit about our mission statement, just really quickly, again, like I said, we are an osteopathic medicine school, so we do have that osteopathic heritage sprinkled throughout all of our programs, that whole person healthcare aspect. We are very big on scholarship, community health, and professional education, diversity, and underserved populations.
Thanks, Olivia. And I'm just going to hang on that slide for a second because I want to focus on a few things that are underlined there, and that's preparing highly competent professionals, which we'll talk about in a few slides. And also, our focus on whole person healthcare, which is kind of the mission of the program, our program, as well as the university. So we'll come back and revisit those. But we're thrilled that you took some time out this evening or this afternoon, depending on where you are in the country, to join us to learn a little bit more about the Masters of Biomedical Science program. Basically, we are currently in our first year of the program. So if you're interested in joining us, you'll be in our second class. And what the program is, it's really a program to help prepare students to get accepted, not only get accepted, but succeed in PA school. We have developed a number of credits, both science and social science, to help boost your GPAs and really demonstrate a sustained record of academic performance, which is what a lot of PA programs want to see as you're progressing in. So we'll get into the program in a little bit, but I want to kind of look at why this program was developed, and you're obviously interested in PA school and what the future looks like for you as a potential candidate. It's highly competitive. If some of you that joined us on the call have applied to PA school in the past, it's extremely competitive. If you haven't yet, you'll kind of realize it's very competitive to get into. There's currently actually 304 PA programs now, and it's projected to be 326 by 2024. It's still one of the fastest growing professions, according to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. And if you look at any of the major assessments of healthcare, we always rank in the top 5 consistently. 1 or 2, 3, we're in that top 5 as far as professions. So if you're interested in PA as a career, you've chosen a good one. But what this slide kind of focuses on, the 2020-2021 application cycle is the one that's most complete at this point. So that's the one that we have data on the matriculants. But you can see that 30,000 plus applicants, only 11,000 actually got accepted to PA school. So it's about a third, 37%. In 2021-22 cycle, there were 30,000 applicants, and in 22-23, there were 31,373. So you can see that number is going up and up and up, which means it's going to be even more competitive when you start to apply to PA school. I like graphs. I think they kind of tell the picture, but this shows you kind of that steady trend of increasing applicants, but also of the trend of those that are getting accepted. So the bar in the front here are the students that are getting accepted versus the ones that are applying to school. So you can see as the numbers go up for applicants, the numbers do go up, but about the same. So we're still looking at around that 1/3 of students are getting accepted to PA school. So who are the applicants? That's all of you who are looking at applying. And if you look at some of the data that's come out from the Physician Assistant Education Association about the applicants, about 30%, 27.9% have previously applied to PA school. So it's not their first time. On average, applicants have applied 2 years, but that means they're applying multiple years to try and get accepted. The number of PA programs applied to, the number of interviews granted, those numbers are kind of consistent, but what we really want to strive is to improve your opportunity, your chances to apply to the same number of schools, but maybe increase the opportunity for interviews. And that bottom line there is increase the number of acceptances. So we're only at 1.9% for that, or 1.9 is the average number of PA acceptances. When we look at academic performance, this is another area that I'd like to stress that our program can help with, because the graduation rate is about 93% of PA school. And that means 7% don't graduate. And we look at why. Academic dismissal is a reason. It's about 5% of those students. So go back to that number of those that matriculated. That was 11,000. 5% of them are going to get academically dismissed. So going through a program like this that actually prepares you for PA school can help to reduce that risk of academic dismissal. Another category that you may hear about is deceleration. So there's something called short-term deceleration, where you just slow down for maybe a module or a semester, or a long-term deceleration where you actually step out of the program and come back the next year and repeat everything all over again. So that represents about 9%. That's challenging. Both of those cost money, because you have to spend more money to repeat a program or a course, or you have to come back a second year. So what we really want to focus on is improving your academic performance, so we keep that deceleration down as much as we can. So competitive application, this is a kind of a new area that we want to really focus on for you to say, how can I be more of a competitive applicant? This is what you should ask yourself if you have applied to PA programs in the past. Those first couple bullets are things that our program can really help to focus on. We can improve areas of weakness, like scientific coursework and your GPAs. It gives you that record of sustained academic success. I keep using that over and over, because a lot of students, if you've tried to retake a course or two and you take a class in the summertime at a local community college, it's great, but you've taken one class in one semester. What PA program admissions committees want to see is that you're capable of handling a very heavy course load that would be similar to what you would experience as a PA student, and can you succeed in that? And is it more than just one semester or one summer that you've taken it? So this 9-month program can really help you demonstrate that sustained academic success. Personal statement, I kind of threw this one in here too, because we have a medical writing course that really helps you to focus on your personal statement. When you think about your application in CASPA and all the factors that go into it, a lot of them you can't control at this point, like your GPA, by the time you make your application, that is, like your healthcare hours, things like that. What you can control is your personal statement. And as a prior reviewer, I can tell you I put a lot of stock in writing ability, and the personal statement or the story and how it touches the individual of why you want to be a PA. So I think, doing something like that from our program can really help to improve your opportunities. What else goes into making a competitive applicant? Well, these are outside the scope of our program, but I like to put them in there so you have an idea of what else, PA program admissions look for. Healthcare experience, whether it's paid, whether it's volunteer, it all adds up, and it is all very meaningful. Some PA programs have minimum requirements for hours. Others just look for quality experience that you've had. Mission-oriented activities, whether this is volunteering, whether this is going out on medical mission trips, any of those, depending on the mission of the program that you're looking for, they really put a lot more emphasis or stock because you have an idea of that. So underserved populations, you can define what an underserved population is and what it means to be a member of that community or seek healthcare in that community. Research, our program does not focus on research. There's just not enough time in the 9 months to do any type of research. But research is a major factor in medicine from any of the disciplines that you're in, whether it's in nursing, whether it's in athletic training, whether it's physician, PA, nurse practitioner, any of those. We really value the research that's coming out because that's how we learn more as clinicians to be able to guide our practice. So any type of research that you've done in undergraduate or currently is very valuable on an application. Finally, the big thing is ask. If you've gone on an interview and you have at least been successful in getting an interview, or even if you haven't, follow up with an email. Why didn't I get in? What are some things that I can work on? What are some things that can improve my application, my competitiveness? If you ask those questions, a lot of times you'll get the feedback of what's on this slide right here. Improve your GPA, demonstrate academic success, sustained academic success. Healthcare experience, unfortunately, that just is a requirement because of the competitive nature of the program, of the programs that are out there, the PA programs. So, these are all things hopefully that help you in your application process. So let's talk about really why we're here, and that's our program, the Masters of Science and Biomedical Science program. And this is really geared towards PA school. I'm a PA. I've been a PA for over 20 years. I developed this program along with a number of other PAs in addition to some faculty who are experts in their fields of advanced sciences. So we offer a very advanced science curriculum to improve undergraduate coursework, whether it needs to be improved, whether you just need to enhance it, make it more recent if you've taken things in the past to refresh it. But it also provides this at a very rigorous pace. I'll talk about the calendar in a second, but we really pack in a lot of credits in a short period of time so you can succeed. You can learn those time management skills that are essential as a PA student. You can learn those good study habits of a compressed schedule of having to learn a lot of material in a very short period of time. And that's what's going to eventually lead you to succeed in PA school. I think our online asynchronous format allows students to live at home, save a little bit of money for PA school, complete the work, the classwork really on their own schedule. It's not that we have deadlines or things, assignments due every day. We try and lay things out in our weekly module format to say this is due Friday, this is due Saturday, this is due Sunday. And really that's what helps you develop those time management skills. Can I look ahead at a calendar, say, I know when my due dates are, I can do this on Monday, I can do this Wednesday, I can do this Friday. Okay. What's our curriculum look like? So I mentioned we have upper level science courses, those advanced sciences. Anatomy is really a clinically based anatomy. So one of the prerequisites for our program is that you have an anatomy course because this just kind of will help to refine what you've learned. It's difficult to learn all anatomy in a 10-week block. Physiology is kind of the foundation of medicine. And we really broke this up into 3 different courses so you could learn a lot about the organs and their functions and their pathways in a very in-depth nature, which is essential for PA school. A lot of these things, if you haven't had them when you get to PA school, or you haven't had them recently, you struggle to learn them in addition to learning the disease states or the medicine that goes along with it. So having this good foundation leading into it will really be an advantage. Biochemistry is a good one. A lot of students have not had biochemistry. Some programs don't require this. as a prerequisite. So it's a challenging course, and it is essential to learn those biochemical pathways when it comes to, again, how the body works physiologically, but also how the medications work on the body. So leading into medications, we have 2 pharmacology courses. Microbiology is really taught from an infectious disease standpoint. So you might have had general micro class in your undergraduate coursework. We really focus on medical microbiology. What are the viruses, the bacteria, the fungi that attack the human body and cause infectious disease? Immunology, kind of the immune system, how the immune system functions, and then genetics kind of make up our science courses. So these are a lot of courses that can really help to improve your science GPAs. In the social sciences, medical writing, medical ethics, extremely important to learn the ethics, because this is another, same thing with social and behavioral determinants of health. You learn these in PA school, but you're trying to learn medicine at the same time you're learning some of the social science aspects. And this is what really teaches you to be a good practitioner. So learning the ethics of how to practice the proper way, morally, legally, and then the social and behavioral determinants of health. Understand the demographics and the population and the patients that you'll actually be treating. Really helps you to deliver better and more effective healthcare. And then finally, we have 3 capstone courses where you, this is kind of where you really get to learn about PAs, learn about multidisciplinary medicine, how things fit together. We tried to put together a little activity as far as getting out into your community, if there's an opportunity to participate with a local or community health fair, blood pressure screening, anything along those lines can really help you see how PAs can really help to I don't want to say solve the healthcare crisis, but be a very significant portion of the solution of the healthcare crisis that we're in. So our calendar coming up, our next program, our application window will be opening here in the late fall, and will be open till mid-June. And our next class would start on July 15th, excuse me, of 2024. ATSU University, if you're familiar with them, they operate on 10-week blocks. So our first block would go from July 15th to September 22nd. That's fall block 1. Fall block 2, you get a week off in between. Fall block 2 is September 3rd to December 8th. Then you get a few weeks off before spring block 1 starts. And then a week off. Spring block 2 is actually only a 6-week block. So I have the calendar laid out, but you'll see. And then we actually have in-person graduation, even though it's an online program. We really encourage all of our students to come to graduation live, so you could walk across the stage. And that would be scheduled for June 6th, 2025 in Mesa, Arizona. A little small, but this is basically what our course calendar or schedule looks like. You can see this on our webpage a little bit easier, but I really want to draw your attention to the fall semester. So that first and second 10-week blocks, they have 15 credits each. 5 credits in the first block, 5 classes in the first block, 6 classes in the second block, 30 credits in your fall semester. So 30 of your 45 credits will be taken in that fall semester. Why? Why do we crush you like that? Well, so you can demonstrate, because as you start to apply in the fall and early spring, you will have 30 credits completed to be able to demonstrate successful coursework. And even though the degree is not completed, you will have completed those courses that you can demonstrate. I've done this. This is something that's similar to a PA curriculum, and I've succeeded. So this just kind of reiterates the calendar a little bit more. 30 credits in fall block 1 and 2. Sustained academic ability, as I've said over and over again, be consistent with that ability, and be able to demonstrate on PA school applications during that time. Our courses are not identical to what you learn in PA school, but they certainly prepare you for that. And I think the rigorous load that you're taking during this time will really help. A little bit about our faculty. We have various varied backgrounds and very experienced faculty. So we have PA faculty who are both in academia or academics teaching, as well as in clinical practice. Our non-PA faculty have subject matter experts, and most of our faculty have experience with online or asynchronous instruction. So we have a multitude of doctorates in our program, as well as PAs, a lot of PAs with doctorates. a registered pharmacist who is also a PA is teaching our pharmacology classes. And then our ethics is being taught by a PA who has a master's of jurisprudence or in health law. So, we really tried to saturate our program with experts in their field to give you the best experience leading into PA school that we can. So who should apply? Well, if you need to improve your overall GPA or science GPA, if you need to have a deeper understanding, or if it's been a while since you've had some of that upper level science coursework, this will be ideal for you. As far as a gap year, we kind of refer to the gap, even though you're not taking a year off. It's more like a bridge program. So it's a year between what you would have between your undergraduate and starting a PA program. So really, this is just that year to help better prepare you for PA school. Currently, our prerequisites, we do require a full anatomy course, and this has to be anatomy. If you have anatomy and physiology combined, you have to have both anatomy and physiology 1 and 2 to satisfy the anatomy requirement. And again, that's because there's a lot of material being taught in a very short period of time, so it's difficult to learn that the first time. English composition is a requirement because it is a requirement for PA school, and communication is extremely important to avoid medication errors, to eventually get to the point of adequate and proper patient charting for legality purposes, and to avoid mistakes down the road. So English is still extremely important, and there is a fair amount of writing that is done in our program. If you look at our website right now, it says a GPA minimum of 2.75. We made it through our first class and realized that our program can really benefit a lot of students who are trying to get into PA school who have a lower GPA due to a rough semester, just due to changing careers, anything along those lines. And we really feel like we want to give you an opportunity to prove your academic worth. So for the incoming class, we are going to be lowering the GPA requirement to a 2.5, with the understanding that I'll talk about the automatic interview with the PA program in a second, but the 2.75 GPA was calculated because if you achieved an overall GPA in the Master's of Biomedical Science program of 3.6 and you had a 2.5 GPA, depending on how many credits that you took, it would approximately raise your GPA to a 3.0, which is what's required for the Arizona School of Health Sciences PA program. There are a lot of PA programs that have lower GPAs or that don't have any GPA requirement. And that's really why we wanted to lower this, to give opportunities to students to show their worth and be able to get into a PA program and really help you reach your goal of becoming a PA. So why should you consider our program? Well, just like you go out to interview for any PA program, it's really, it has to be a good fit for you as well as for the program. So I always told students that I interviewed that you're interviewing us as well as us interviewing you. What's your mission? Does it align with the mission of the program that you're applying to? So think of the same thing with the Master's of Biomedical Science program. Does your mission align with our mission to help you get into PA school? You should have that same philosophy when you start interviewing for PA programs. Does it align? Don't just take a PA program if you don't like the way they're doing things or it doesn't fit with your style of learning. Chances are good you're not going to succeed as well as you can. So aligning your missions will really help set up a pathway for success. A quick note about the guarantee interview or the automatic interview with the ASHS PA program. If you complete the Master's of Biomedical Science program with a 3.5 GPA or greater, and you meet the minimum requirements of the ASHS PA program, then you will be offered an interview with the PA program. Okay, so there's a lot of buts in that sense. You have to complete the program first. So you have to graduate and then have an overall GPA of at least 3.5. The other aspect is you have to meet all the minimum requirements. So every program that's out there has different prerequisite requirements. And it's really, you owe it to yourself to evaluate all those prerequisites and make sure that you meet them before you start applying, because it's just wasting your money if you don't meet them. As I mentioned earlier, the ASHS program has a minimum requirement of 3.0. So you would need to have a minimum, even if you got a 3.5 in this program, and you have below a 3.0, you still have to meet the minimum requirements of the PA program. Okay. And I did want to mention that it is the completion of the program. You may, if you are applying during our program, you may be offered interviews at a lot of PA programs, and you'll be able to use this coursework to demonstrate your strength and your ability. And that's great. And that's what we really want you to start doing. But it really, the guaranteed interview doesn't occur until after you've completed this program, which would be in May at this point. And then you'd have to wait till the following cycle to be eligible for their program. Financial aid, I put this slide in here to mention that I don't talk about financial aid. I don't know anything about financial aid other than it's available for qualifying students. Financial aid is very individualized, and it's highly specialized. And what we encourage everyone to do is, if you're concerned about this, which everybody should be concerned about how I pay for this, is to set up a one-on-one meeting with enrollment services to discuss options. And they will customize something or tell you exactly what's eligible, what you're eligible for, what you'll benefit from. So that's an extremely important point, other than to say that we don't want to discuss that because there's so much variability there, and there are experts that can really help you with this. One quick disclaimer, too, actually, is that the PA program was really customized for as an opportunity for aspiring PAs. It was developed, the curriculum was developed with PA curriculum in mind. So this is not really a program that would be a stepping stone to medical school, dental school, really any other healthcare discipline, because that's not the way our program or our curriculum was developed. And if you're looking at it in that regard, you need to really be aware of what the prerequisite requirements, and would this program satisfy those prerequisite requirements. So just be aware of the programs that you're applying to, and our focus is really on PA education, and it's, I think, a great opportunity for aspiring PAs. I did talk about the guaranteed interview, and again, it's for graduates, and it is extended really only to the Arizona program. There are other PA programs that are out there, and at this time, the Arizona program is the only one that's offering the automatic interview. Okay, enough the disclaimers. I'm almost wrapping it up here for you. So, ultimately, this is something that you'll see me say over and over in the classes. Our goal is to help you reach your goal. We want to see you with that white coat on. We want to help you get into PA school, and we want to prepare you and ensure that once you get into PA school, that you can succeed and get through PA school. Here's some contact information for you. Please feel free to email me directly or Sarah as the program manager. The online inquiry is for our online admissions. If you start the application process, you'll be assigned an online admissions counselor, and they will reach out directly to work with getting your required information uploaded to the website or to the application. And with that, I will open it up to questions.
We do already have one question. Someone says, I'm debating either doing online or on campus for a Master's of Biomedical Sciences program. Are we still able to make connections with professors or students in the online program? And does AT still PA program prefer students who have done the program on campus?
That's a great question. And the online format with almost all of our instructors, we try to make as much interpersonal contact as we can, not just assigning or grading an assignment or a write-up. I personally have weekly open office hours, at least for an hour a week, where students are welcome to pop in, talk about really anything. If they come in with questions of for the program or within the course, I teach micro. So I'll get students popping in asking about this weekly's assignments. But we pretty much all the faculty have by appointment Zoom office hours, so we can help make this personal connection with students. I think it really is personal. Again, I'm going to say it's your personal comfort level as to what you feel you would learn best from. A lot of my lectures, I record my lectures with my little picture down in the corner. And some of the feedback I've received from students have said, I feel like I'm actually participating in a live lecture by listening to you with that. So I think we're trying to do as much as we can to make this a very personal experience for everybody. It's going to work for a lot of people. It may not work for some, but I would encourage you to, to pursue what you're most comfortable with doing. As far as a preference, I think if you're taking these steps to improve yourself as an applicant, you're going to improve your application and your value. So regardless which program you decide to pursue, you're improving and you're taking steps that application committees or admissions committees really want to see. If it's through our program or not through our program, the only affiliation with our program is if you get a 3.5 then and you meet the requirements, then you get that automatic interview. Other than that, I think any student, it's not that our program or the PA program won't interview students with less than a 3.5. It's just not going to be the automatic. So they would be aware that you've taken extra coursework or postgraduate coursework to help your application. Did that answer your question?
Dr. DePalma, can I just jump in here really quickly? So if the student or if the attendee is asking specifically about the our online program compared to the on-campus program, the on-campus program is a completely different program from our program, and their curriculum is geared toward medical school and dental school, while our curriculum is geared toward PA school. So you need to look at what your goals are and which program would best benefit you.
Gotcha. Thanks for that clarification. I thought you were thinking in general terms of an online program. The residential program that's in Kirksville, Missouri is solely for osteopathic medical school or dental school. It is 2 years and it is heavily research based. So, that goes back to your mission of where your goal is and what your desire is. So thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah.
All right, Sarah has her hand raised. You can go ahead and unmute and ask your question.
Yes, I actually have 2 questions. So the first question is, one of the things that I love most about this school is from people that I know who have attended this school, who are currently attending and work there, is that this school offers a ton of support to its students. And so I was wondering, if we live in Arizona and we live close to the school, is any of that support available to us? Should we choose to maybe come to campus for office hours rather than doing it over Zoom, or any of the counseling, just anything else that's campus related? Are we able to participate in that if we live nearby?
As far as the in-person office hours would be challenging because none of our faculty are on campus actually. So we're all kind of scattered throughout the country. I personally on the East Coast. So you're welcome to come visit me for personal office hours if you'd like, but that might be a little far. As far as the on-campus services that are available, Dr. DeBase, are you still on? I would think that any services would be available to you, but I don't want to speak to.
Yeah, I would assume because it's more for any AT still student. So the learning specialist, and they certainly could meet with a student via Zoom or in person, as well as the on-campus counselors and even timely care, which is 24/7. For counseling for, say, test anxiety, and then tutoring is a whole other issue. We would have to look at hiring alumni tutors. They have PALS tutors through Student Affairs, but they are specific to the programs, such as the PA program, the DO program, and may not. I mean, they could probably tutor, but we haven't set up PALS tutors specifically for this program yet. But once we have our first cohort graduate, that is something that we could look into hiring.
Okay, thank you.
Great. You had a second question?
My second question was when you were going over the automatic interview and the requirements that have to be met for that to be granted, you had said that it would qualify you for the following application cycle. So since the PA application opens in April, and we would be graduating in, we would be done in May, but graduating in June, would it count for that cycle? Or are you saying that we would have to wait like a whole nother year till the next cycle?
For the completion, yeah, and that's a good question. Because you have to wait until completion of the master's program, you'd have to wait until the next cycle. If you meet the requirements of the PA program and apply now, so if you have all the prerequisites and apply while you're in the PA program, you could still be interviewed, in which case, you could use the program itself as your leverage or your strengthening point to say, I meet the requirements now. If I get through the program, regardless of what my GPA, well, you have to pass all the classes, but if I get through the program, then I could successfully start with the next cohort. But if your GPA is a 2.9, say, and that's below the minimum requirements for the program, for the PA program, and you're looking to use this program to help with that, you'd have to wait until the following cycle. That's for the Arizona campus program. So as I mentioned, there are a lot of other programs that you could consider during that time frame as well.
Okay, so but even if I chose to apply, if we graduate in June and that's when everything's complete, I could still apply for that cycle. I would just technically be a couple months late to the game, or not at all.
Well, if you graduate in the program finishes in May, but your graduation would be in June. Mm-hmm. The cohort that starts in July would have already completed their application cycle by December of the prior year. So their application cycle opens in the spring, and then they take applications and they do their interviews in the fall for the following year. So that would be when we actually start our program.
Right. Okay. So because the application is going to open in April, which would be just a couple months before the completion of the program. So it would be for the start of, fall of 2026 at that point, I believe, right? That's what I'm talking about. That's the cycle that I'm referring to.
Okay. So applications for PA school would open in April of 2024.
Right.
And then interviews so that program would start in July of 2025.
Right. But I'm saying
so if you
after that, since we wouldn't
right, that's when you would apply, or that's when you would be eligible in 26.
Okay.
For the Arizona program.
Thank you.
It's kind of tricky. Yeah. So if you were to graduate and you finish your last class at the beginning of May, you walk the stage in June, you were saying end of April, that's when the cycle opens. So yes, you would just be a few months late to applying, but that would be the cycle that it would be.
Yeah, and yes, I would encourage you to even get your application in, because even on your application, you can say coursework in progress. And you can list all the courses that, at that point, it would be Capstone 3. That would be your only course. As a reviewer, I would see that and say, okay, they're still completing this program. So, that kind of draws the attention to the reviewer to say, I need to look at this grade, or they're still pending, but I'll still consider that application. Their interviews wouldn't start until end of summer anyway. So they're still collecting applications during that time. So even if your application's in April or May or June, you could still be selected for an interview in August, September, October.
Okay, that's what I was asking. I just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
Wait, a whole nother cycle after.
No.
Right.
Okay.
Assuming you meet the minimums. I mean, the only caveat I would make is anyone whose GPA is below a 3.0 wants to wait until they complete enough credit hours to get above a 3.0. Otherwise, it is really just a computer cut. If your GPA is not above a 3.0, the computer just calculates and moves you to a different bucket. So that's the only caveat I would make.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say too, Dr. DeBase, because if you're fine and you think you're way over the GPA requirement, then you can, like Dr. DePalma was saying, submit your application right when it opens in April, but you haven't graduated till June. But if you think you might need those last few grades to get your GPA boost a little bit, then you're going to want to wait until you actually get that transcript, because CASPA is going to generate your GPA and we don't do GPA recalculation. If you send that transcript in, we'll take the transcript and see that you finished the program, but we won't take it into consideration for your GPA. If that makes sense, it's a little tricky, but anyone else have any questions? Anthony, I saw your hand up. You got a question? Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask, if we have some of these classes that we completed as an undergraduate, will we be repeating these for this program, or would we be assigned new courses based on our individual needs?
No, you'll be taking all the classes with the cohort, and part of that is these aren't undergraduate classes; these are graduate level courses, so they should be advanced. You'll find out they'll be advanced. I can tell you, because micro, I've gotten a lot of great feedback. It's very challenging, and it's not a general micro class. So, you know, we've kind of designed these classes to bridge what you've learned as an undergraduate, really work, you know, refine that, and be a great stepping stone to what you're going to learn as a PA. So that's why we get into a lot of detail with physiology too, because I guarantee you haven't learned that much, that level of detail in undergraduate. But yeah, it's a good question. And I think what we're trying to do is, even when students that have had those undergraduate classes have struggled a little bit in certain classes, and we've identified the areas that students struggle most, anatomy and physiology tends to be, you know, kind of up at the top of the list. So we've really tried to focus a lot of emphasis on that. But yeah, good question.
Excellent. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Go ahead, Sarah.
I thought of another one. How many students do you take into this program? And, you know, I guess how many, I know this current year was your first cycle with this program, but how many applied and how many seats are there? And then what is the, I guess going into this program specifically, what is it that you're looking for to stand out, you know, if you're not accepting many people into this program?
Yeah, so another great question. And I'll say we probably got over 100 applications into the program. A large number of those students either got accepted to PA school while they were waiting to finish their application from us, or a few changed their mind and decided not to. We ended up accepting 40. To answer your question about how many we take in, we want our class size to be right around 25, a little less for the capstone courses, so you get a good personal experience with your classmates, and the discussion boards and conversations that you have with them should help to refine that. But we're not really capping it. If you qualify, we want this to be an opportunity for students to get to that next level. So as long as students are qualified, applying, interested, we're going to do what we can to get you in the program.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Was there another question part of that?
I have a question that it's a little bit more specific to me personally, but I am making like a career change to go to PA school, become a PA. So I already have a master's degree in speech pathology. And so I'm just wondering if this program would be, like, I know it would be beneficial for me, but would it be the same as someone else who is looking to add more to their application? Since I already have a master's degree, I just wanted to kind of hear what you thought on that.
Yeah, great, because I was a non-traditional student, and non-traditional PA student means I had another career. I was in the Navy and I was a microbiologist for 8 years before I decided to go back and be a PA. And what I really like about this program is that it really helps those non-traditional students that might have been away from education for a little while to refresh things. If you have a master's, you're probably going to be fairly competitive to a lot of PA programs if you've applied in the past. If it's been a while since you've taken some of those prerequisite courses, some programs might say, I want to see something a little more recent. I want to see some evidence that you're capable. I think having a master's degree to me means you're pretty capable, particularly in speech pathology. But it's become such a competitive field. You just need to demonstrate some of that recent coursework if it's been a little while since you've had it. This is a great example, going back to Sarah's question, of, students that have applied to our program. They apply, whether they finish off their application or wait, they've applied to PA schools too. And we've had students that said, I really want to come to your program, but I'm still waiting to hear from 1 or 2 PA programs. Fine, we'll give you an extension for your acceptance. If you get accepted to PA school, great. That's what, at the end of the day, what we really want. So, I would say, I don't want to say we're a safety net, but in your case, since it's specialized, we're a good backup plan to say, okay, there are some deficiencies in the application or what the admissions screeners were looking for, and that's something that we might be able to help out with. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Sure.
Any last minute questions?
Well, feel free to reach out to any of us if you have any additional questions.
I was just gonna say something really quick. Sorry, I could not unmute myself. I somehow accidentally turned on a little edit button. I was trying to turn it off. I did just want to put a plug in as well that definitely if you have specific questions about the strength of your application for PA school, to reach out to our admissions counselors, because that is what they're trained to do. They're very good at it. They provide excellent advice. The admissions counselors actually serve on our MMI, our mini medical interview process, and participate in our discussions weekly during the admissions committee. So they're very aware of what we're looking for in the program. So I definitely encourage anyone to reach out to our admissions department directly, and they can look at your application and give you some insight.
I just went ahead and put our email. If you email azadmissions@atsu.edu, that's the email you can say, hey, I want to meet with an admissions counselor. We'll set something up for you.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. I hope this was informative for you. And, I look forward to seeing some of those applications, but please feel free to reach out if you have any questions.